Okay, so we are streaming to a custom service, letting everyone in, 46 members.
Okay, wow, there they are.
Look at that.
Hi, everybody.
Aloha, everyone. Nice to see you all. Why don't you go ahead and put in the chat where you're from. Such an honor that you are all here, not watching the craziness on the news.
You don't. Yep.
Oh, that's right. They're picking the president tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, wow. It's just great to see everybody. So we'll go
Yeah,
ahead and
welcome
we'll get.
everyone. Australia, Maui, Texas, LA. I'm from LA too. Oakland, Arizona, Santa Barbara, Ohio. Welcome everybody. Leanne, I know you. Good to see you again.
How you doing, Katie? Nice to see you. Is it snowing? Have you met Donna before? She lives by you. Oh, you can unmute. There. There.
No, I think I met her at the conference.
Yes, Katie, I think I met you at the conference.
Yes, in the hallway.
Yeah, in the hallway.
Hey, Sylvia. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you and to be seen. And I wondered if you would like me to offer some flute music for centering before we start.
Yeah, you can do that right now, just while we're getting the people in. If you'd like, that'd be awesome.
Okay. And a quick chant. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. May we all thrive. And may each of us be part of helping all thrive. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu.
Thank you. Okay, let's go again, and we'll get started with some house cleaning while the last people are straggling in. So aloha, welcome to Hawaiian Islands. I'm Sean Lether, and a special welcome to everybody that is joining us live on the Conscious Awakening Network. I want to make a few announcements about upcoming events before we get started. On the third Tuesday of this month, November 19th, we'll be having our monthly Hawaiian Islands Experiencer Sharing Group for anyone who has had any spiritually transformative experience, whether it's an NDE, after-death communication, prophetic dreams, or if you're just interested in listening, you are invited to join us. Remember, you don't have to have had an NDE to come to the sharing group. And David will put a link in the chat. And also for details and registrations for all of this, you can sign up to the Hawaiian Islands newsletter. And this event will be recorded, and you can watch a replay on the Hawaiian Islands YouTube channel. So if you get a chance, go to youtube.com/Hawaiian Islands and register. And lastly, I want to remind everyone that these events are a labor of love for us, and it's very important that we keep them free. Your generosity helps keeps our events free and supports sharing the wisdom and love of NDEs and STEs with the world. So please consider partnering with us and donating today. And David will put a link in the chat. So we'll let a few more people in and give me a second longer. Okay, here we go. Aloha and welcome. I'm Sean Lether, your host, and we're excited to be broadcasting live on the Conscious Awakening Network. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. In 1998, tonight's guest, Donna Rebadow, was being towed behind a boat on Lake Ontario and accidentally got tangled up in the tow rope. She was dragged underwater and drowned. As she went under the water, she separated from her body and experienced a profound near-death experience. Tonight, she will be sharing about her NDE and other spiritually transformative experiences and how they have affected her life. Donna is a mystic, near-death experiencer, sports medicine acupuncturist, host of Exploring Consciousness podcast, and the author of Wendy's with Sadie, the Miracle Dog, chronicling her partnership with Sadie, a career-changed guide dog who became a pet therapy dog, working miracles with hospitalized children. You can find out more about Donna on her website, exploreconsciousness.com, and we will also put a link to her book in the chat. Welcome, Donna. I am so thrilled that you're here. And I met Donna at the conference and we just immediately connected. She's just an amazing soul. So I'm so excited that you're here.
Aloha, everyone. Sean, thank you so much for inviting me. My managers are here, Chantel and Lisa. So a shout out to them for connecting us with Sean.
Yeah, Chantel's an amazing manager.
Very, very much so.
Okay, let's
raise your hand if
start
you've heard
off.
my NDE. Raise your hand if you've heard it. It's going to be the same. So I drowned, I died, I talked to the creator of the universe and came back. So it's pretty much the same. So I was vacationing with my family on Bear Lake in the Adirondack Mountains in northern New York. It's near Lake Ontario, but it was actually in New York. On July 17th, 1998, a little bit after noon, we decided to do some lake toy playing. So a lake toy is like a bullet with two pontoons, and it's towed around behind the boat on the lake. So we decided my sister Cindy and I would go first. Her husband, my brother-in-law Wes, was driving the boat, and on the boat was his nephew and a baby. And Cindy and I, with our life jackets, were on the bullet. And have you ever done that? You guys, have you gone around the lake and they try to spin and throw you off, and then you get back on the boat, and then you let the rope out and you do it again? Well, that's what was happening. You're flying around the lake, falling off, getting back on, doing it again. And one of the times, what happened was, as we were my sister was letting the tow rope out, her husband yelled, "Get off the bullet, the boat is sinking." And we're like, "What? The boat's sinking?" So, okay, what's going on? So I looked behind me, and my sister had the rope, and I saw that she threw it to the left. So I rolled in the water on the right. And it takes me longer to tell you than when it actually happened. And the bullet got between the sight line of my brother-in-law and where we were. So when he looked back, all he saw was the bullet. I looked down and I saw that tow rope wrapped around my leg. And I was wondering, how does a nylon tow rope sink? They don't sink. And so it had to go down and up and under and wrap around my leg. So I'm pondering this. I'm going, what the heck is this? And I heard the boat start up. And I went, oh, they don't see me. He doesn't see me. And pretty soon it was like they took off, and I thought, oh, this is going to hurt. and the tow rope strangled my leg to the bone, and I was dragged underwater. And I'm now being pulled along, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to get out of this. I now know how I'm going to die. They don't know I'm here. And so I had my arms back like this, and a couple of thoughts were going through my mind, like, oh, now I know how I'm going to die. And I apologize for my voice. When I drowned, it really wrecked my throat and my lungs. So just kind of bear with me on that. So I said, oh, I wonder where they're going to have the funeral. Will they have it in New York? Will they have it back in Arizona where I'm living? And so just as weird things were going through my mind. And the force of the boat, the water was hitting my chest and air bubbles were leaving. And I'm thinking, oh, I really could use that air. When all of a sudden, I pop out of my body and I go through this veil, like this saran wrap. It's very thin. And I popped through it. And the first thing was, oh, I'm dead. The next thing was, oh, there's no time over here. I actually understood the difference between time and eternity. And it was in eternity. There was no time there. And then the next thing that surprised me was I brought my consciousness and my personality with me. Now, don't ask me what I thought I was, what the afterlife was like, but I'm floating up and I don't have a body, right? Because I'm dead. But the way I'm going to describe it, it's as if I had a body, and eyes, because it had that sensation. So I could hear every cell in my body giggling, I swear. And I look down and I go, what are you guys laughing at? And they're just giggling and giggling. It's like, we're going to see the creator of the universe. I was like, what? And I looked up, and on the edge of the earth, as if I could see the edge of the earth, and I say edge, the earth's round, I get it, and I knew the creator of the universe was coming up. And the next thing I know is I'm traveling up, I'm seeing God, the creator of the universe. And how he presented himself to me was this big electrical field. There was no gender. It wasn't a he, she, but I'm going to say he, but it wasn't that sensation of he. It was just the creator of the universe, the God. And I was like, oh my, there it is. It was like the Aurora Borealis, crackling and very electrical is how he presented himself to me. And as I'm traveling up, I began understanding what telepathy is on the other side in the afterlife. You know how telepathy here, you stand on one side of the room and your friend goes to the other side and you concentrate on what I'm thinking. And we think that's telepathy, but on the other side, telepathy is immediate. So as God is thinking something, as he's thinking, it's popping into my head. And so it was like, I next heard, don't worry, because I was looking back at, oh, my family, everybody's going to be upset. And it was like, don't worry. As soon as I heard that, I turned back around and I'm like, everything behind me disappeared. And it was just me and what was happening to me in this afterlife. And I have a sensation of moving. I'm hearing things. I'm being given all sorts of information about how the universe works and what's going on. And I hear, I am the creator of the universe. And I heard that as I'm saying, you are the creator of the universe. And it was like, I know everything. As I'm saying, you know everything. So it's almost like God knew what I was about to think. And I was thinking, you know everything. And then I'm going to say he said, I even know the number of grains on a beach in New Zealand. As soon as that was said, I rocketed down to a beach in New Zealand. I got my eyeball up against a grain of sand, and I knew the number of grains of sand on the beach. And then I'm flying back up, and I'm in front of him again. And he says, I even know the number of hairs on your head. In love, you guys have heard NDEs before. We try to describe love, the feeling of love. It's like love was shooting through my body this way, while the information was shooting through my head this way. And I'm getting closer and closer to what I would say a hug. And I leaned in and I could feel that hug. And at that moment, I felt as if the only person in the universe was me and God. And the love was just like he created the universe for me. It's like it's just overwhelming love. And as this is happening, and again, there's no time, so I don't know how long. And people ask me, how long did you drown? How long were you in the water? I don't know. Somewhere between 10 seconds and probably 15 minutes. We don't know how long I was there. It doesn't really matter because I was dead. But this was all about love. And it was the most incredible thing. And I have to tell you, there are about 8 billion people on the planet. And each one of us is having a different life experience. And so it became known to me that everyone is going to have their own death experience. So I came back calling it a designer death. So this is my experience, my death, what I experienced. And if you talk to 100 NDEers, they're going to probably tell you 100 different things. And I had gone to the Monroe Institute for Scott Taylor's near-death experience, and he said, the researchers show that there are 17 common elements of near-death experience, like you know you're dead, there's no time, you go through a tunnel. You know, what are the things that are common? But I didn't go through a tunnel. I didn't have a life review. I didn't meet up with my family. It was me and God. So I'm hugging him and I hear this. So, Donna, what would you like to do here? It's kind of sat up. I wasn't sitting. And so you got to understand. So I was a teacher at the community colleges here in Arizona. And one of them was psychology. So we learned the active listening method. And as a psychologist, if someone's in front of you, if they say, you know, I have 5 brothers and sisters, active listening, you say it back to them. So I understand you have 5 brothers and sisters. So God says, well, what do you want to do here? And I go, oh, so is what you're saying, God. So I'm active listening with the God, the creator of the universe. And the Aurora Borealis just started crackling and laughing. And it was just like, I know you, Donna. I know your sense of humor. That's hysterical. And I go, so I'm active listening with God. So God, is what you're asking, is what do I want to do here? And I knew that he meant I was given a choice. Did I want to go back? Or when I looked over to my right, and there was kind of a line over there, and I knew if I had said, I want to stay here, I knew I was going to cross that line and I was never coming back. I knew that. So I looked at him and I said something I never thought I would say in a million years. I just, you know, people that say, well, when I see God, I'm going to do this. Well, it wasn't quite like that for me. He had asked what I wanted to do. And I said, oh, since you made me, I give the choice to you. Boom. Even though there's no time there, it felt like time stood still. It's such a paradox. It's such a, you can hold different concepts simultaneously and they'll both be the truth. It's just this weird thing that NDEers cannot explain. So I stood there and I was like, oh no. I knew immediately what that meant. I gave my choice away. Now I gotta wait. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm going, oh, I know what choice is. I know what surrender is. And then I hear this. When you go back, you will teach everyone about the importance of choice. Choice and free will are the greatest gifts I could give a human being. But I didn't catch the part, but when you go back, because I'm still waiting. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen. And it's like I was tethered, kind of leaning back. Then all of a sudden I felt I was unhinged. And I'm falling backwards to earth. And this is one of everyone's favorite part of the story. I hear this as I'm falling backward. I hear, good answer. falling back and I'm hearing that. I'm going, boom. And I snap back into my dead body. And I'm drowned. And I hear the boat stop. And I know it's not the same when you're over there. You could do this. And my brother-in-law said he felt a tap on his shoulder. He looked back and there was no one there, but he did see the bullet was moving kind of weird. So he stopped the boat. When the boat stopped, I go, oh, I'm going to live. And I started putting my arms and going to the get out of the water. And I felt human hands under my armpits. And I'm thinking, oh, they're never going to get that rope off my leg. It's strangled to the bone. And as I'm being lifted up, the rope comes undone. Now, I asked a couple of the physicists at the community college, was that physically possible? And they said no, based on all the data that I give them about, the speed we were going, the power of the boat, blah, blah, blah. The physicists can do that. And they said, no, that rope could not have come undone. Well, it did. And I get to the top of the water and I could feel, I'm spitting out all this lake water and I know I'm getting some help. And my poor sister's back there where we left off. And she's now swimming toward me like 800 miles an hour, like Superwoman or something. And I looked down and I looked at my leg and I thought it was amputated because I saw my quadricep, my kneecap, my calf, but in between, just above my kneecap, it was, like it was the tow rope stringing my leg to the bone. And so I looked down, I thought, oh my God, if I kick it, I'm going to kick my leg off. So I grabbed my calf because I thought, if I had my leg, maybe they could reattach it at the hospital. That's what I was thinking. My sister comes swimming up and I yell, don't look at my leg. And she looks at my leg and she's screaming at my leg. And we hear the boat take off. And now my brother-in-law doesn't know what had happened to me. He just thought, oh, that was funny. And he took his time going back to the boat, back to the dock and getting another boat and coming back out. In the meantime, my sister and I were left out in the lake. And I was like, oh man, I think I'm going to go into shock if I do, put my legs above my heart, tilt me back, but hang on to my calf. And so my brother-in-law, I don't know how long it took for him to comes back out and he's coming up and I know he's going to look at my leg and I scream, don't look at my leg. Of course, what does he do? He looks at my leg. He starts screaming. He starts trying to get out of the boat and get me into the boat. And I said, no, if you lift me out, my leg's going to fall off. So he threw a rope to my sister. So my sister grabbed onto the rope and grabbed onto my life jacket and we made it back to the dock. And they packed me in ice. It took 45 minutes because we're in the Adirondacks to get an ambulance out there. I make it to the hospital. They had wrapped, I told them to wrap my leg in ice. So they unwrapped it, looked at it. By then we knew it wasn't amputated, but it was strangled and it was starting to swell. And so they were concerned more about the giardia in the lake water that I swallowed. But they said, pack it in ice and go home. And people say they would never have done that. Well, yeah, they did. So yeah, that's my NDE. There's more to it. But that's basically what had happened. But I wanted to tell you about choice, I was supposed to go back and teach. And I've been interviewed I've been interviewed on other people's podcasts. When they heard my story, everyone wanted, what is choice? What is choice? What does that mean? And so I only had give an elevator speech, just a couple of minutes to explain it. And I didn't do it very well. After every one of these interviews, maybe it's about 4 or 5. And I'm sitting there one day going, man, I don't know how to do choice. I wonder how I'm going to do this and get this out to people. Now, when you're an NDEer, most NDEers have one foot in heaven and one back on the earth. The veil's very thin, and at times there's no veil. I'm right there with my guardian angels and my guides and my beings. So they're sitting there. Well, I'm sitting here at the computer, and it slapped me upside the head because they have a sense of humor, and they go, hey, that's why we gave you a podcast, Exploring Consciousness with Donna. we want you to do choice as a PowerPoint on your podcast. It's so silly. Okay, so I sat down and they gave me the outline for this project, and it's called a Choices PowerPoint. I have one for beginners, one PowerPoint for intermediates, and one for advanced. Now, if you're interested, I'm doing an IANS webinar on Saturday, November 16th, and I'll put a link in the chat room for you. But I'm going to go over what my angels wanted me to teach. I'll do a quick Reader's Digest condensed version. Choice. It's the power and responsibility to shape our own lives. That we must choose every moment to be aware of your thoughts, choices, and your free will. I mean, seriously, like every second. And how we think about others, about the choices that we make, and about our use of free will every day, every second of every day. And I've been here 26 years since my NDE. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of seconds. To teach you about, to watch for signs from the other side. Like a lot of times people say, well, how do I talk to my guardian angels? Well, they're already talking to you. They talk to you in signs and metaphors and books and music, and perhaps even through this webinar today. They're talking to you all the time. And choices, be of service to others, and mostly the ones that are placed right in front of you. So I say I'm going to say we, me and my angels, developed the Choices Project to help you understand the choices that you're making and how to make different choices through self-examination. So I don't just say, be aware of it. I'm teaching you how to do it because I'm a teacher. So in the webinar, I'm going to show you about your belief systems, about the conscious and unconscious choices that you're making. Belief systems may be limiting your potential, techniques for changing and adjusting your beliefs, but how you think and act in this world, because, you know, that life review, I have one every day since I've been back. And the life review is, they're showing you an aspect of your life, you and another person in a situation, and how you treated them, what you said to them, the choices that you made, and how it affected them. But you're in their body. So you're like on the other side going, oh, I said that? Oh, man, that felt really bad. Or good things. Like I volunteered at the Andre House Soup Kitchen in Arizona. So it allowed me to see how it made somebody feel about being, you know, having a meal that night. So in the life review, I tell people, when you're making these choices, it's something you really want to see in your life review. So make sure it's a good thing. But I do want to tell you about my brother-in-law, you know, that driver of the boat. Well, he felt so guilty about what happened to me that day that we never talked about my NDE. When I would go to Buffalo and visit my family, I could never wear shorts. He could never see my scar. But in April of this year, I got a call. He was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So I went up to Buffalo to say my goodbye. I got to be there a couple of weeks with him, and he pulled me aside one day and he said, tell me about your NDE, because he's afraid of dying. What did I see? How could I help him? So after 25 and a half years, I sat down and talked to him about my NDE, what you heard tonight, what to expect on the other side. The next day I'd come in and he goes, you better be right about your vision, because I'm having a really bad time thinking about what's on the other side, but you better be right. I go, I'm right. Even though you have a designer death, it's nothing like you think. It's not going to be, you know, he would tell me about the judgment and the purgatory and the hell. And I said, no, it's not like that for me. Let me tell you what I saw. I saw a loving God. The God so loved you, he's going to give you a designer death. And then I had to come back to Denver, and that night, I knew he was going to die that night. And that morning I had to leave for Denver, and I said, Wes, I got to tell you what a shared death experience is. And I explained it to him, and I said, please, can I have a shared death experience with you? And I'll show you around in the afterlife. I mean, really, that's what I thought I was going to show him around. And so he said, sure. So I went back to Denver. And Wes died on 12/22 on April 25th, 1 month after his diagnosis. And that night, I was back in Denver at about 10:20. I woke up in this hypnagogic state, and I looked up, and I saw him going through a tunnel, like in this Superman pose, yelling, "Hey, wait for me!" He doesn't look back. He's just taking off. And I hear him say, "Oh, you did a great job. I'm on my way. Goodbye." Yeah. Goodbye. So what am I trying to tell you? What you take to the other side is you love. It's about love. God, my spiritual guides, my guardians, and the angels are all about love. And they continue to teach me how to love better, because I don't know what you think about NDEers, like we're supposed to be some kind of saints or we know everything. Well, we don't. I don't know when I'm going to die. I don't know how I'm going to die. And I still mess up. I have bad days. I'm a grouch. But how to forgive myself and others to start the healing process. What my NDE has done is allowed me to share my afterlife experience with those facing death, afraid to die, and who might have questions about dying. So all I know is this. I know about other dimensions. I know about the afterlife. Pay attention every moment. Be of service, and please love at all costs. Thank you. I'm going to open it up for questions and answers.
Yeah, if you guys would like to put any of your questions for Donna in the chat, and then we will ask her. But I have several already. So first of all, you drowned. How were you resuscitated? Like they've been drugging you under the water. Did anybody resuscitate you?
No, there were some physical things that happened that day. Like, how did water get on the boat? That boat had a screw on the bottom that they torque wrenched.
Right,
No
the little
water
plug in the back, right? Yeah.
No water gets on that boat, and it did. The nylon rope stays on the top of water, doesn't sink. It came undone. I spit out water, and all of a sudden I could breathe. I'm like, it's miraculous. Miraculous means the physical laws on this planet are suspended. So I can't tell you. I mean, when I said I give the choice to you, it's like, okay, boom. You're going to have all the, talk about A Course in Miracles. It's a life of miracles.
Right.
So no one resuscitated me. I didn't have mouth to mouth. I just spit out gallons and gallons of water.
Wow. So about choices, did you experience pre-birth planning? Do you believe in that? How do pre-birth plans and choices come together? What'd you say?
Chantel's favorite question. This is my point of view from what I saw. My knowledge, it is this. Yes, pre-birth planning, yet we're still allowed free will. So it's like my friend Tom Campbell says, you and your planners, your guides, you get together and you say, well, how would I like to evolve? What I would like to happen? As my friend Betty from Iron said, I go in a room and I pick out the cereal box for NDE. I pick out the cereal box. Please let my mother abuse me. Please do this. Please do that. So there's this weird sensation, but I believe there's pre-birth planning, but I don't think to the nth degree. I probably agreed to some kind of near death, but it wasn't necessarily, like, boom, you're going to drown.
Right.
Wow. On my leg, I showed my scar at the Ions, but people say, stop showing everybody your scar. So yeah, I do. Does that answer your question? I believe in pre-birth.
Well, yeah,
planning.
but how the choices play. This is where a lot of people get confused.
Okay, so
how the
choices I can have
play.
choices. I'm a teenager and I've got choices, and my guides say, I want you to go over there and I want you to do this. I can say no. I could, they want me to do this, or I think I should do that. I still have that free will and that power of choice. But I think like my friend Tom Campbell says, there's some people that have very specific scripts that they agree that they're not going to, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of leeway for them. But yes, you can say no to God, you can say no to your angels, and I've done that. There's some things that are just going to be, you're gonna get a tow rope down. I didn't have a whole lot of choice of that, but my life is choices.
Little too late to back out.
Too late to back out. But you have this kind of an ability you do have an ability to choose. So my friend Tom said, as a young person, they were asking him lots of things, and he kept saying no, 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 until he was in his, I think, 20. Michael, you probably know. Do you remember from his book what age he was when he said, "Oh, I better get going on this path"?
I don't remember how old he was.
I can't remember what he said, but yeah. Does that kind of explain? I mean, it's
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it does. So who were you before this happened? Were you a spiritual person? What was your life before this happened? And how did it change you right off the bat?
I'm one of 7 kids. Okay, we were Catholic, so one of 7 kids. And so my guardian angels started appearing. It's not appearing, it's not like I saw them, but it's called something called clear sentience, clear knowing, and clear audience, clear hearing. So I was given those gifts as a young kid, as a 4-year-old. So I've known and been around my guardians for a long time, but it's not like it was every day. Like, okay, Donna, we're going to give you this choice today when you go to school. It wasn't like that, but it was, they saved my life one night when my brother tried to come in the room to kill me. It was somewhat at times a dysfunctional family, and he was very jealous of all the gifts I was given. And so my parents were gone, and one night he got drunk and he came to my room to kill me. And that's the one time I saw my guides go flying by me. It was like Gandalf at the door, "You shall not pass." So I've known them, and I would say things to my older sister that had to do with paranormal. And she goes, "Oh, people don't do that. People can't do that." And I go, "Oh, I can do that. Doesn't everybody do that?" No. So I kind of stopped doing that for a while until my 20s. And then I just did stuff and just didn't tell anybody. How it transformed me, it changed how my cosmology, my view of the universe and universes. I didn't see what I expected to see. People say, well, it's just a product of your dying brain, and you're going to see what you're going to see what you think. No, there's nothing there. Nothing that I saw on the other side was in my brain that I thought I was going to see or experience. Period. There was not anything like that. So how it changed me, it transformed me. It made me see every single day, every single moment, how to think differently. And I got a life review. I get a life review every couple of days here. That's really tough. If you've had a life review, it's not a lot of fun. Times when I was being a jerk. It's like, so I said, I got in a fight with my sister, and so here's my life review. Here's me and my sister, and we go over what I said to her. But all of a sudden, I could feel what she's feeling. I went, oh, and then how she went the rest of the day, and how she yelled at her kids, and it's not fun. So it transformed me to tell people, be very much aware of even what you're thinking, how you think about things. So that's why I'm doing the workshops, how to think, what your belief systems are. And it's like, I'm not going to judge you. It's like, how are you going to think about things? And is what you just did with someone, do you want to take that to the afterlife? Do you want that? I don't know. It changed how I look at things every day.
Right.
And
so you already had those spiritual gifts growing up.
Yes.
So,
but not like this. They're like spiritual gifts.
Right. Training wheels. And then
little training wheels.
Yeah, I mean, that's to me, I just always, it seems like most NDEers have had some sort of experiences earlier in life, and I certainly have. And then, but then maybe if we're a little sidetracked on the path where we came here to do, at least for me, I need these little wake up calls in the ICU every once in a while. To,
Well, I knew my
like
purpose
a
in
tune
life.
up.
I knew my purpose in life. I think I was in the third grade. I wanted to be a teacher, and I became a teacher. But if you look at my resume, Chantal, you can tell them about my resume. I have like, I'm a pilot. I worked in a pickle factory. I was a professional athlete. I'm in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm an artist. I'm a pilot, you know. So the purpose, what I tell my students is, what do you want to do as a living to get money? And then what you want to do outside of that as hobbies and things of that nature. So my students would come in and go, I don't know what my purpose of my life is. The purpose of your life is to love and evolve. But people go, I don't know what that means. You mean your purpose, like what to do? So we're human beings, not human doings. So do something, you know, like that you'd like to do, that you'd like to get your money. But really, the overall purpose of our life is to evolve into a place of love. And that's really hard. I came from somewhat of a dysfunctional background. So I had to overcome a lot of stuff. I had to overcome stuff my mother did to me, my brother did to me. And it's like, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, to help with my guides, it's like figured that out. They helped me with that. Guess I didn't get it. I guess my big wake up call was, okay, you didn't quite get that, Donna. Maybe we'll have this NDE now. Boom.
Yeah. That's
Totally
how it's felt for
transformative.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so you kind of did talk about purpose, but somebody did ask a question. Did you know your purpose in life before your NDE?
Yes.
And how do we know what our purpose is in life is for those of us who have not had an NDE?
Purpose is to love and evolve and forgive and go gentle with yourself. I bet if I talked to each and every one of you and sat down with you, it'd be like, what haven't you forgiven about yourself or someone else that hurt you? Because this isn't heaven. This is not heaven. This is a working planet. You know, you're given situations, and if you don't do well, you're going to get it again, right?
Right.
Never
And
gonna
I,
get
you know, and I always tell people to add on to what you said, be present in the present moment. So that's your purpose, to be
Yes.
fully present. Because,
Right.
you know, for me, and I think many NDEers, like we come back and we feel like we have this purpose, but we don't know what it is or whatever. And that's what I learned is just be present and then follow the breadcrumbs. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever I'm guided to do now, do that. That's what's
Well, it's the tough part for us, and is there's a couple of things that's hard here. One is death and grief, and the other one is like childhood trauma, domestic violence. Um, there's a lot of tough things here. My sister's going through domestic violence. I'm trying to work with her. So I've had to do. There's a lot of stuff that you do here. There's people here. There's counselors here. There's you got to do the dark work. You got to do the shadow work.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
just go through life going da da da. This is just so fun. I got my guides. It's no. I've gotten hit. I've gotten punched. I've gotten all kinds of things. But what am I going to take to the other side? Like, am I going to take all that? Like, what can I do to, self-examination is, it's self-examination. What did they do? And for kids vows, like kids with childhood trauma, we like to make vows. Things like, well, when I grow up, I'm not going to marry anybody like that. And there's this vow, when I grow up, I'm not gonna love anybody because it hurts too much. When I grew up, it's all this stuff. I said, this isn't heaven. This is work that we need to do here. This is a working planet. We need to do the work. And it's going through counselors and 12-step and whatever it is that you need to do, because people know when they're hurting and they know I can't keep going on like this. I can't keep dragging this around. I need to stop and see what I can do to, grow up, get rid of this. I'm not taking that. That's their problem. It took a long time for me to understand what was my mother's problem and what was my brother's problem. And then, that I wasn't at fault as a kid. And then look at my childhood vows. So it's work here. I'm sorry, it's just work. But your purpose
It
is
is. It is. The NDE is just the beginning, isn't it? It's not
yeah.
like, yeah, you had a glimmer of heaven, but we're still here in our body. And we have a lot of
We're
work to
still
do.
here. Like I said the other day, like I've been here 26 years. What more do you want me to do? So they gave me breast cancer. So I was like, okay. So I had my first radiation yesterday. I have my second one tomorrow. So it's like, so an NDE or with breast cancer, how can that be? Okay. It's just I'm not dancing down the street with this, but it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't have all the answers for all you guys, but I'm just trying to answer how I've done it, what I saw, what I feel, what I do. And you can take what you like, what I say, or, assimilate it, or, like you said, Sean, there's things that I've said that you go, yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Michael wants to know, what is the difference between a guardian angel and a spirit guide, and how do their roles differ?
Great question. Yeah, this is a tough one for everybody. Like my dad is now my angel. No, I didn't see that. That an angel's an angel. A soul is a soul. A spirit guide is maybe now we're getting into stuff that's kind of weird stuff. Like people that haven't incarnated as a human being, they're on the other side from another dimension. That's a spirit being. An angel is an angel. A messenger from the Jewish tradition, angel, Angel, Michael ends in El. All the angels end in El, and El means messengers. So they tend to be messengers or guides. So guardian angels, guides. Spirit beings are, like I said, I have a couple of spirit beings that have not incarnated on Earth and help me out, different than the species of an angel. Now we're going to get into deep philosophy and, well, how do the roles different? Guides, my guardian angels, I have two major ones. One that's with me all the time, protecting me, trying to help me, and then I have another one I send out all the time, and they have subgroups. So I get together. So I don't live my life maybe like a lot of people. Before I have my little book and before I go to bed, and I'm going, okay, you guys, and we gather up. It's like, okay, tomorrow, this person that I really like is going to go to the doctor. I want you guys to surround the room where they're going to be, and I want you to tell the doctor's guardian angels, I would like you to tell them this, like do a good job or whatever. So I send them out doing stuff all the time. Whereas a spirit guide is like I have spirit guides for healing. I see that a lot. So if you guys ask for it to be on my healing list, I gather up people that have departed from Earth, like Edgar Casey, Solanus Casey, all kinds of healing people. And we gather up on the other side, and I bring you up there, and we work on your different levels, your etheric level, your, all your levels for healing. So those spirit guides are there for healing. You don't have to believe a word that I'm saying. This is how I do it. These are the people I'm working with. These are the spirit guides. These are the angels. Take what you like.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like, doesn't matter what you call them. It's just labels. They're just symbols.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, I've seen her, and other people have seen her. She's kind of like a coach when I've had the physical problems. And so she'll be up there and she's like with her whistle and like, You
Yeah,
come over
exactly.
here,
Yeah.
you come over here, and using all these different healers. And so yes, in many ways, I call her my coach.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so Richard wants to know when healing others is permission from that person required.
In my world, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it always is.
Yeah.
Um, um, Nancy would like to know, have you had any more communication with your brother-in-law since he passed?
Okay, you guys, listen. When people first pass, there's lots to do. There's meetings there's reports to give, there's meetings. When they first go over, it's very rare that you get to talk to him right away. So no, I know he's busy. No, no, we haven't, but we can feel him getting closer is the best way I can say. But no, I
Did
haven't.
he have guilt? Did he have guilt for what happened? Did he
Yeah.
need you to say you forgive him? Did he ask
I
for
did.
that?
I did before he died. We talked
Oh,
and
good.
started saying, I hurt you that day, and I go, you need to stop right now. For 25 years, I've been working. I was a chaplain at Phoenix Baptist Hospital, and everybody wanted to know when I would go in the room, "Are you the one that died? Can you tell me about death?" I don't. How many dying people that I've told about death? So it's like, yeah, there's things that you can say to people here. I really emphasize designer death, but I also emphasize love, 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 love. You can't believe the love. It's just overwhelming. You're not going to believe it. You're going to be shocked. But they're busy. If you want to read a good book, Natalie Sudman's An Application of Impossible Things. You want me to type that in there? Natalie Sudman. Her near death, she was on my podcast. And she talked about the meeting she had to go to. She got blown up in a rock. Okay, there she is, An Application of Impossible Things. That's a great near death. Talking about the amount of reports. And she went to a healing station too, because she got blown up. So, and she got to be put together because there's no time over there. So she got to be in the healing space with her angels. And then she came back down, was talking to her major guardian angel and a trainee. And I didn't even know there were trainees. I also didn't know dogs were over there. My dog was over there. I was like, oh my God, this is like great. So she had to give a lot of reports, came back, and the three of them were deciding what injury she would have. So she's an artist without an eye, and I'm an athlete I have my leg, but I say without a leg, the use of my leg. We make a good NDE pair.
Uh, wow. So yeah, so she was in the infirmary on the other side, basically.
Yeah, she went to the infirmary. She had a theater. She had to give a report.
Yeah.
She had to go to the infirmary, and then when she came back, she had another choices about with her guides. Well, what do you want? What injuries do you want to go back with? So if you read that book, you find out about how that happened. But it's very busy over there. It's not like lots of things to
Right.
do.
Have you seen the movie Astral City?
No.
So
Yeah.
Astral City, if you guys also haven't seen it, he's by a Brazilian spiritist. And it's basically, and he's had an NDE. And so it's all about this and what happens in the stages. But then there's a giant infirmary like you're describing that your friend
Yeah. Natalie
went
went to
through.
the infirmary. I take people to the infirmary. So on the healing list, there's a couple of things. One, it's only for you, or if you give me, I have permission from, like you say, I want to pray for my brother-in-law. Do I have your permission? If you lie to me and say, yeah, I have his permission, then oops, I don't want to be on that life review. So it's like, okay, are you sure? So I take you guys up to the infirmary and we work on you. Doesn't mean that you're all healed. The greatest healing, my friend said, the greatest healing is going on the other side. The link for my healing, if you go to my website, exploreconsciousness.com, I think I have an email there. And you email me and you just say your name, your email, what you want. And then here's what I require of you. like my students, I'd meet you halfway. This isn't a freebie. This is a working planet. I require you to get back to me once every couple of months with a progress. And most people don't. So that first month, me and my guides will be doing the healing. But if you don't get back to me, then I don't know where you go on the list. I don't know. My angels take care of that. They're like, well, you got to do your part. But I have some people that have been with me for years, and they keep saying, oh, this happened, that happened, that was great. And I don't do the healing, by the way, people. I'm a good asker. I like to ask well. I ask well on the other side. But the healing's done through the creator of the universe, the great Aurora Borealis, God, the creator of all things.
So what was God? He wasn't a man. He wasn't a woman.
No.
Was he light? Was it
It was
light?
Aurora. The only thing I can tell you is, we can't, there's no words on the 3D side for what we saw and experienced on the 5D side. He presented to me as like this big energy field, like the Aurora Borealis, with a personality. Like when he loved me, he hugged me. When he laughed across the whole multiverse. That's how he presented to me. And he could have presented to me any way he felt like, but it was not in gender. It was just, oh, your ways are so high above our ways. Your mind is so, we can't even conceive of, and I don't know why he showed me as a Aurora Borealis, but that's what he did. That's how and when I go to the other side, that's how he presents still, when we have conversations.
So what are the main takeaways from your experience, would you say?
Love, choice, be aware, present moment. What are you doing? What are you doing? If I was out in front of you, I'm going, what are you doing? What do you need? What's stopping you? Do you really want this to be on the other side? Really? Come on. How can I help you? How can you help yourself? How can you look at what's happening in your life? Can you change your perspective 1 degree? That's what I do with my students when they come into my office. I taught at the community college level. They come in and they would tell me all kinds of just poor kids. That's why I love teaching them. They come in and say, well, I'm in this prediction. I say, do you have money in a checking account? They go, yeah. I'll drive you down to Sky Harbor and you pick a city and you can go there and be free of everything. I can't do that. Okay, then what can you do? Oh, so change the perspective. What do you have control over? And this isn't easy. I get it. But what can we do to have you change just a little bit today? Just change a little bit. I listen to lots of podcasts. I listen to Michael A. Singer podcasts. I listen to Tom Campbell. I listen to Jürgen Ziewe. Jürgen Ziewe. Jürgen Ziewe's been on the other side, had 40 years of OBEs. And it's like, I just keep listening all the time to things in my head. I want to fill my head with music and love and laughter, even though there's times I get up and I'm a jerk. I don't feel well. I said something I wish I hadn't. So does that answer your question? I'm not sure what the question is.
So yeah, no, it does. So I have another question though, with choices, and people make lots of wrong choices. So
Right.
what do you tell somebody when they make a wrong choice?
So in the workshop, and what we do is first say, what is your belief system? So we start with, you have homework in my workshop. You have to do homework. You have to, how do you think? What are you thinking? So we go through a whole thing on what do you think? What's your belief system? And then we do sticky note assignment. Every day you're going to have sticky note. And I did this myself. So you go through the day and you go, oh, I think my sister's a jerk. So I wrote down, I think my sister's a jerk. And I stuck it on my bedroom wall. So I want to see a visual representative of what I'm thinking now. I don't do a lot of historical. what's in the past is past, but I want to know, what are you thinking right now about it? So we get to the belief system. And then we talk about what are the different kinds of choices that you make. Instant choices like the blink, Malcolm Gladwell's blink, or choices about what I want to wear, or choices about what I want to think about that person. So it's I constantly am feeding myself with, I'm learning, I'm constantly learning. What does Michael Singer say about that? What does Sean Lettner think about that? What I listen to I listen to people's podcasts. What do they think? Oh, do I think that? Oh, is that really productive for me to think that way? What are things? I do a pro con page. What if I think differently about my sister? Oh, well, this could happen. This could happen. What if I keep thinking bad about my sister? I'll be taking that to my life review. I'm gonna get very far. And I know there's some people too that there's some people in your life that they're not going to change. And it's if you're an adult and you can, you just say, well, I need to move on. I don't know. It's really hard to tell everybody what to do in this. And it's kind of like, I know tomorrow my guides are going to go, well, you're going to have to make a podcast out of that. You didn't do such a great job last night talking to the Hawaiian people. Okay. I'll talk a little bit more about choices.
Yeah. Well, I like, A Course in Miracles is something that I study, and what I like is, when they talk about choices, and it's just very simply, I made a mistake, choose again.
Yeah,
because a lot of
you
times
don't beat
we beat
yourself up.
ourselves
Yeah,
up for
yeah,
making these.
don't. You would put that on your sticky note. What didn't work?
Yeah.
But is the choice already made? Is the choice made? So what do you think about that choice? So in it, you progress from, this is what I think now, this is what I did, what can I do better? And that pretty soon, what can I do better is on top of the sticky note of what you did wrong, so that you can just keep, okay, I did that. But Einstein's quote, you can't do the same behavior and think you're going to get a different outcome. So we talk about how to get a different outcome. But if you want to keep making that same bad mistake, your sticky note's going to be really long with not anything covering it up to make a good choice. I make bad choices. I still 26 years later, and I'm like, what was I thinking? I teach this stuff. Oh my God. I have to go back to my own sticky note or my journal or yeah.
So how about, so you had your Catholic upbringing. Did your NDE pretty much change all of those beliefs, or are there still beliefs from your upbringing that were confirmed?
Okay, Lisa and Chantel. I am a changed Catholic. I am a mystic Catholic. I'm a mystic. I'm in the tradition of the essence and the real deal. Because you can go over there and go, what did you teach? What was that? I'm not the dogma Catholic. Does that make any Catholics raise your hand? Does that make sense? I know people say that they're what's the word? Recovering Catholic. I'm a changed Catholic. Yeah, Catholic is, thank you, Lisa. Catholic, the big C Catholic is universal, or the little C. Lisa needs to talk. Anyways, my own personal beliefs are changed because what I saw, I told you, transformed my cosmology of how I thought I was, what I thought I was going to see, and what. But you have so many years of training. Like I'm in love with Padre Pio. That's never going to change. So if you don't know who he is, it's okay. But nobody can take Padre Pio away from me either. So, but I'm not a hell and brimstone dogmatic. You're going to go to hell and judgment. I'm not doing any of that. I'm trying to help people that were recovering Catholics just be good in their own skins.
Right.
And then when you cross over, you're gonna see. You can get a hug. You're gonna get a hug. You're not gonna get a list of, on this day you did that. No, I didn't get any of that. So I don't know. No, I don't see that. I don't believe that. It's my belief system.
Well, like
Big
I may have told you, I'm not Catholic. I was raised Mormon, but the first person that I saw in my last NDE was Saint Teresa of Avila. I didn't even know who she was.
She's a
And
Catholic. She's a Spanish mystic.
yeah, she's amazing. I actually have past
She's,
lives with her. We had
whoa.
an agreement that she was going to be there to walk me to the other side.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just funny because when you look at beliefs, I didn't
Yeah.
have
What's
that
your
belief.
belief system? What's your belief
I didn't know
system?
anything about her.
Yeah.
I know a lot more now. It's pretty cool. But
Well,
so
why didn't I
I
see Padre
love
Pio?
those.
Why didn't I see Padre Pio? He knows how much I love him. He's like, no, no, you're going to have this experience and go back and tell him this because I'm undercover Catholic. So I usually don't say I'm Catholic because I want people to, just listen because love is universal. Love is universal. It doesn't have a faith. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Uh,
preach. I'm just trying to.
no, you're doing great. You're not preaching.
Okay. Okay, good.
So who else has some questions for Donna? She's got a lot of great answers. So keep
Come
your
on, you
questions.
guys. Come on. Come on. What's ticking you off? What's making you happy? Anything that was said there that you go, oh, thank God, I'm good. You know what
At
I
least nobody's
in the
asking you to predict who's going to win tonight.
you don't. No, there's certain things I transcend. There was no, yeah, let's not do that.
So
Yeah.
David Michaels wants to know how he can feel lighter.
What define lighter? What does that mean? I'm a teacher. Define lighter. What do you mean?
Michael, David, I mean,
David, Michael, where are
I
you?
think he means just like heavy, all the crap. How can he raise his vibrations? Letting go of emotional weight and heaviness. Because David, like you, like me, like many of us, we have trauma that
Right.
sometimes can get really heavy.
Yes. Again, I do things, I do everything. Listen to music, read books, go to counseling, work on it, chip away at it, uh, letting go emotional weight, heaviness. I just don't. I think David. I don't know. I'd have to talk to you one on one. I'm better one on one than the overall generic. How can you like? I can say stupid things like, "Oh, just let go." Well, no, you don't just let go. Why? Why? I'd like to delve into what's your belief system? What are you thinking? That's why the course on choices was getting at your thinking. So emotional weight and heaviness can be a thinking thing, could be a belief
Right.
thing. And so we need to get at that. So how do you let go is, okay, look, Arthur Ashe, one of my favorite tennis players in the whole world, had a heart condition. He was a smoker. And most psychologists says, well, you need 30 days to bank a habit. Well, you don't. Is that what you believe? It's going to take 30 days? Here's what he said. He went into the doctor and he said, if you keep smoking, you're going to die. How soon? Pretty soon. You're going to die pretty soon. The next day, he stopped smoking. One day. So how you think about it, what's your belief system about it? And it does take some time. That's just a case of someone that was facing his death. But I would say to you, David, what's your thinking and beliefs about that? How do you make your soul shine brighter? Um, I like to. So here's what I did the other day. Someone told me about. Oh no, no! I'm going to tell you. My guardian angel said, "Look up Green Door." Oh, Green Door! I was 4 years old, and my mother liked the honky tonk piano. So there was a. Now we're talking like I'm old, you guys. I'm old, okay? So in the 1950s, there was a song called The Green Door. And I looked it up and I put it in my playlist. It's just this really stupid song, honky tonk about a green door. But I remember being 4 years old and dancing. So what I do now is I dance to make myself lighter and brighter. I play music. Music's really important to me. Laughing. So you can go on YouTube and find all these 60s sitcoms, Lucy Ball, like her eating the chocolate off the line. And so I try to laugh. So laughter, music, doing things for other people. So I'd have my students go to the Andre House and Crisis Nursery, and I'd go with them to get your mind off yourself sometimes. So those are all things that you can be doing, but it's, even though I said you're not a human doing, you're a human being. Well, these are the part of the human doing that you're doing, music, laughter. The book that you talked about, Wednesdays with Sadie, I was training seeing eye dogs for the Eye Dog Foundation. My dog got sick, and I went up to heaven and asked God, look, if you can just let this dog live, I promise we'll do something really cool. So we became a pet therapy team with kids in a children's hospital or children's ward. And so every Wednesday for 4.5 years, me and Sadie went up there to brighten the lives of these kids. So you can become brighter or lighter by doing something.
Yeah.
Just, I know it's hard.
I found mindless humor.
Mindless humor.
Mindless, yeah,
Purposeful
mindless. Like we
humor.
don't even have to think. Just
Just laugh.
yeah.
But I can't laugh. Well, what can you
That's the
do?
only time we're really connected with source is when we're like joyful. Like if we're in fear and all that other stuff, at least for me, I'm not connected.
You can be connected in fear because you can put your head down and go, man, this is really scaring the shit out of me. Oops, I'm not supposed to swear. This is scaring the heck out of me. Dang it, I wasn't going to swear.
Well, yeah, asking it, what is it here for? That's what I found. Like what is
so I can have fear, and I want to say, what's the fear?
Yeah, what's it trying to teach? Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen, you guys. July 24th, I walk in. Donna, you have breast cancer. Okay, what do we do? Here's what we do. Got surgery on September 4th. I went to IONS conference knowing that. I didn't tell anybody at the IONS conference, oh, by the way, I have breast cancer, blah, blah, blah. So I set up my surgery so I'd have it when I got back. So September 4th, I had my breast cancer surgery. The next day I went out and got a pedicure. And people were like, you just had surgery. What are you doing having a pedicure? Because I could. I can control that. I can control that I can get up and get a pedicure.
Yeah.
Looking at what you can control.
Yes, definitely. What can you control? So Cheryl would like to know, how can I not be so hard on myself? How can I make healthier habits stick?
Take my workshop. I know it sounds so stupid. Well, you're gonna laugh at this one. I went out and bought a stuffed teddy bear, like the ones you get at the state fair. It's just oversized, big teddy bear. I brought it home and I stuck it on a chair. And I started talking to it like I was talking to myself. So I had to hear myself. Hey, teddy bear, you're really stupid. How are you being hard on yourself? Usually, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. Why do I keep doing that? So I just had a conversation with the teddy bear and imagined, what would the teddy bear say back to me? Why you really? Like, would you talk to your best friend like that? Would you talk to your teddy bear like that? So you got to sometimes do stuff in the privacy of your own home that's silly. That's like, why do you talk to yourself like that? Because when I was a kid, they told me I was this and that and this and that. Okay, so one at a time, you're going to put a sticky note. I am lazy. And then you're going to keep going through your next couple of weeks. When weren't you lazy? And you're going to write that down. I wasn't lazy when I did that. And you're going to stick it up next to the lazy so that you can see you're not lazy, or whatever these attributes are. So I like to see things. So sometimes you don't always do everything through talking therapy. So I like seeing things. And you can do emotional tapping. You can, of course, I'm an acupuncturist, so you can do acupuncture. So we have released the 9 dragons. So just use all the resources on the planet. You live in America. It's a free country. As of today.
We will see.
We'll see. But what resources can I use, can I control, can I use that I can choose to make myself feel better and do it a step at a time, inch by inch? It's a cinch.
Yeah.
Yard by yard, too hard.
Also,
by inch.
Cheryl, get a little picture of yourself when you were 5 years old and put that there too. Because most of us, it's our 5-year-old child that is still suffering those wounds. So if you can comfort that 5-year-old child, it's a lot easier to have compassion and love for ourselves when we were 5, maybe than now. That's helped me a lot, actually.
Use what you need to use to get control, power in your life. Gain the power back. Realize where you are. Hey, why did they take my power? Why did my brother try to kill me? How can I get that power back? So I became an athlete to get my power back. I became
So Audra would like to know, how can we recognize messages from our guides and angels?
They talk in metaphors and symbols. It's very rare, even if you talk to a psychic or a medium, that they're, that night they go, "Hey, Donna, this is your angel, and this is what I want you to do." It's usually going to be in symbols and signs, and to be aware in the present moment, like things that are like, I get it with, I don't know if you guys turn on the radio, but I'll turn on, there's a radio in the car. You can turn it on and get stations. And I'll go, man, I need something right now. What can I do? So, you said, how can you recognize messages? In the beginning, it just keep, again, I write a lot. So keep a log, like, what did you think? Would you think this was a message? I would write it down. Oh, I got a penny on the sidewalk today. It made me think of my dad. Okay, write that down. Did you keep seeing pennies and then you heard a song that you and your dad, well, he's saying I love you on the other side. So recognize messages as being aware, looking for signs, symbols, metaphors, books, people. Is there anything I said tonight that could have made you think of, like, did your angel or guide come through something I said? So it could be other people. It could be pick up a book. And at first you go, well, that sounds like me. That's my voice when I'm talking to my angel. That, thought I heard something back, but it was in my own voice. But I've been doing it for so long that now it's like, I already know where it's coming from and what it feels like, but it'll happen over time, I think. There's only 2 times in my life that I actually saw my angel. So that was a blessing. So
Also, don't discount.
Don't
So
discount.
if you have an experience, assume it is real, even if it's not, because what that does is then it puts you in the vibration to have more. Because the
Like I
ego
said,
will always try to talk you out of it and say, no, that didn't really happen. That's what
You're
used
left-
to always happen to me. Like,
Yep. Sorry, Sean, that's perfect.
Sylvia, you have your hand up. Was there something you wanted to ask? Or is your hand just up? Yes?
Oops. Can they unmute?
Did you want to?
Thank you. Yes, I couldn't unmute until you invited me. And
Okay.
so it was actually a comment in response to Donna's talking about a teddy bear.
My teddy bear, Cinnamon. Yeah, about that size.
And this is Madian, and she's part of a hug of teddy bears who are surrogates for me to hug.
Absolutely.
And they've helped a lot in recovering from infancy trauma, which is,
I'm so sorry, man.
of course, pre-verbal, so the words don't really help that much. And so when the question about how are we easier on ourselves, it helps to find ways to meet needs that were not met or were
Absolutely.
met toxic ways when we were young.
Yeah, come
And
to the workshop and we will make notes of all the things that work just because it works for me. How does it work for you?
Yeah, and we'll
yeah,
put the
exactly.
link in Facebook groups
Oh,
for
did I do
workshop.
that yet? Let me see. I think this is the workshop registration, I think. isgoions.org webinar, A Course in Choices.
Yeah, but we'll also put it in
Okay.
Hawaiian Irons and the NDE group.
All right.
So somebody asked, and I this is a good one to answer, which I actually have some thoughts on too. What do you think about indecision when it comes to choices? Overthinking choices and getting stuck in indecision, gaining more clarity about making choices. I'll just say, and then you can answer that that's actually a trauma response that I'm just learning more about because I do that. I'm a big procrastinator, which I never realized that's a trauma response. So what do you have to share about that?
Yeah, it definitely so in making choices, it's like, what is the choice? Sometimes it's you have, you guys, you're gonna get tired of me saying I take out a piece of paper and I put what the choice is. Am I gonna move to Denver? So is there another choice? So I'll move to Denver, stay in Phoenix, don't move, go to Hawaii, whatever they are, and I start doing pros and cons. I'll ask 3 people that are really special to me, what do you think? Yes, move, no move. I mean, sometimes as you gather data, you could be using that as procrastination. But there's something called analysis paralysis. You can get so stuck in the minutia, and that's a trigger for, do I really want to really make this choice? I had to make a choice about doing radiation or not. So I gathered all the information that I could. I couldn't decide. It was an indecision. Should I or should I not? So I did all this research. And then I called my sister who had breast cancer. She said, well, how many radiation treatments? 5. And she said, okay, Donna, I had 25. You're only having 5. If you don't make this choice, then don't call me again. I mean, she was just being smart about it, but it's an example of doing all the research. And the research means I can look it up online. I could ask friends. But you guys, when you make a choice, you're making the choice in the present moment now with the best information that you can get. You don't have foresight. You don't, in the future, you don't have hindsight. So you're going to make the best choice that you can. And if you're finding that I would try to uncover your indecision. What is the indecision about? Did you do your pro con list? If you want to wait, sometimes I tell people wait to worry. Like you're worrying about something right now. I don't know. Can you make that choice now? Is it a choice you can make in 2 weeks? So choices there's lots that go into it. That's why I had to do a workshop, because it wasn't just, yes, no, maybe. It's like Sean said, is it a trauma response? Is it what's behind it sometimes? Even though I said analysis paralysis, sometimes you need some analysis. These are like general platitudes. Does it help you when I answer in that way? Because I need to know maybe what the specific choice was, but don't say it here in front of everybody. I don't think. Right?
So Ken would like you to elaborate on what you meant when a person would not want to take that baggage over there.
Okay.
So, deal with your stuff here versus what luggage do we want to take? The only thing that's real is love, Ken. So everything else but what do you have to say to Ken?
Ken, if you want to read a series of book by my friend Father Nathan Castle, Afterlife Interrupted, it's all about people that took baggage to the other side and got stuck. So again, you're making choices about, I don't feel like, I don't care, this is how I am, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying Like I said, this is a working planet. I'm all about working on it, evolving, getting better, living an examined life. So do you want to take that over there? I don't think I used the word baggage. I just said, do you want to take that to your life review? And it's really how you treat other people. We should feed, help, grow more, cherish. All the things that you take with us, all that thing about growing more, cherishing, that's all love. Like he said, I mean, that can sound like, a platitude, but if you really want to, if you read Father Nathan's book, um, The Afterlife Interrupted, right, Susie? Change your life.
Yeah, well, I
Research
think
will
I
tell.
think
Yeah.
Ken was there when Father Nathan gave his talk to our group. So yeah. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you get to do it all again if like till you get it right. That's why the people that, and this is for me, the people
Yes.
that like focus on and overthink, making the right choice. It's like it doesn't matter. If you mess it up, you get to do it over again. Like, but that's also trauma, like that fear of failing, I think is what it is.
It's not black and white. Choices are not black and white. Like you said, I don't think anybody really wants to keep doing the bad choice over and over again.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, if you go to the Hawaiian Irons YouTube channel, there's Father Nathan. It was a great talk, amazing. I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, like if you like his if you take the baggage over there, so to speak, you can have your afterlife interrupted. Like you get stuck in an eddy on the other side.
Yeah. So, do we have any final questions? And if not, I'll let you
Cindy,
give
Cindy,
your
Cindy,
final.
Cindy,
Huh?
Cindy, Cindy.
Oh, right, Cindy. She had her hand up, right? Where are you, Cindy?
He's gonna unmute you.
I
Is
gotta
it a
find her
question?
first.
Is it a question?
There she is.
Oh.
Sorry, Cindy.
It's okay. Yeah. Well, I actually did just recently have a reading where the person, like, I was really weird. Well, first, I'm just going to tell you, she knew things that I never told anybody, even in this group about my NDE. And I wasn't even sure if it was an OBE or NDE, but I do know. I now. But is it possible she also knew about an NDE that I didn't know about? So is it possible that you can not remember?
Yes, people were oppressive. People, we had a speaker, Rochelle. She had repressed hers, and it wasn't until hanging out with me and a couple of other friends that she remembered that she had one.
Yeah, because I knew they saved my life because there's no way I could have survived. There's no way. I mean, got hit by a drunk driver. I'm lying flat on the ground. My arm got broken, which I'm now like having to go. Well, I won't even discuss, but it was a stretch limo. The guy, like, I was flat out on the ground. I don't even remember going in the ambulance. I don't remember what happened after that. And she said I was saved, and I had an NDE. And she said that Jesus saved me. And she knew that I had seen Jesus in the first NDE, which in 1982, that one I did remember. And I was shocked that she knew that. But I did not know about the one in 1989.
So I'm going to put the link in to your course. It's a course in choices. It is going to be Saturday, November 16th at Irons Groups and Events. It's $10 if you're a non-member. If you're an Irons member, it's $5, right?
Yeah, all donations go back to the Irons Group.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know
maybe
what it is.
maybe after that we'll have you come
My
do
routine.
one with our group.
I can, that's my first time teaching. It's up on the web, but it's a workshop, so we'll see how it goes. It'll keep getting refined. So
Right.
yeah, I'll be happy to do that for you guys.
Yeah,
All money goes to the Hawaiian Islands group.
right. Okay, so any final thoughts that you would like to, any wisdom?
Life's tough. Be tougher. Life's hard. What can you do for your heart? Work at it. Be gentle and kind. And it's tough in this. I get how tough it is. Just what can you control? What can you control? It's like talking to my students. 30 years community college, those students, 60 semesters of students walking through my door, just loving them through their pain.
And I would add, when it comes to choices with what's going on tonight and the next several days,
Yeah,
we all have a choice to choose
Yep.
fear or love.
love over fear. And it's tough. You know what I did? Here's what I did. Here's how I think. So I'm going into my radiation. And you could look at, I call it my tanning bed. So I try not to think of it as radiation. And I'm reading a book called Five Chimneys. It's about the Holocaust, because I wanted to know how tough it was for other people. They didn't have beds, they had rags, they didn't have a washcloth. So that I gave it, the perspective that I got helps me in this little blip of breast cancer. So I'm not flippant about it, but what's your perspective? How can you go easy on yourself? Go easy on yourself, guys. Come on, love yourself tonight.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Tell yourself. Get your sticky notes, because you got homework. So, all right.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Donna. This has just been a pleasure, and I'm so honored of all you people choosing to be here with us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
instead of engaging in the craziness, it's
Yes.
very heartening to me. It's like, wow, like we really have a great community of people that are serious about spirituality and growth. So I'm just amazed and proud of all of you. And hopefully I will see you all on the 19th for our sharing group. It's really great. And yeah, sign up for on the Hawaiian Islands video channel. Make sure you sign up, and then you'll get a notification as soon as we put Donna's link up there. So have a wonderful evening, everybody. And love you all.